In this video, you'll be learning a little bit about Flubaroo. It's basically a script that attaches to a Google form and it grades the quiz for you. So you can go to flubaroo.com for more information, but I'm just going to get in and start building a form. So I'll go to my Google Drive and choose Create, and I will say create a form, and I'll just give it a title. So counterculture quiz, and I'll pick a theme. I'll pick the white poppies theme, and here I can begin creating my quiz. So please answer the following questions to the best of your abilities. That's my description. I'll start with my first question. Is going to be last name. And I don't want this to be multiple choice, but instead I want it to be a text. I'll make it a required question. Choose Done. Next, add item. First name. Again, text. I'm going to require it and choose Done. And then I will add a final demographic kind of a question and say, ask for the email address. Text is good again, required again, done. Now I can start adding my quiz questions. So I'll choose Add Item, and the first question I will ask is, who was not part of the counterculture of the 1960s or 1960 and 70s? And I want it to be text here. Instead, I want it to be a multiple choice, and I'll just put in a few options here. Jim Morrison, Abby Hoffman, Snoop Dogg, and Charlton Heston. I can make that required. I'll choose Done. And just two more items here. Let's see, add item. I'll say, in what year was the Summer of Love? And I'll just make this a fill in the blank text question. Choose Done. And then lastly, where was Hippie Central? And we'll make this a drop-down box. Choose from a list. Option 1, let's say Amsterdam. Option 2, Haight Ashbury. 3, Clemson, South Carolina. Okay, choose Done. Now I'm ready, so I can manipulate some of these options down here. I can say change this. I'll just say thank you. And I do not want to show a link to submit another response because I just want them filling this out one time. And I don't need any of these, so I'll just say send form, and this is where I'll get the link to share. So I'll click in there, and I can right click and choose copy. Choose Done. This says where do I want the responses. It's willing to create a new spreadsheet for me, so I'll let that happen, and I'll just say create. And now if I create a new tab up here and I paste in that link, I'll just paste and hit return, and this will pop up with the quiz. So I need to fill it out as a teacher first. So I will fill in my information. And I'll answer the questions correctly. So Snoop Dogg, this is 1967, and Haight Ashbury. And I will submit. Now, when I do that, I can go back here and choose View Responses from the Responses menu. And this brings up the spreadsheet that houses all the responses. Now I'll get some other people to fill this out for me, and I will be right back. Now I've got some of my friends or students who have filled this out for me, and I could look in here and scroll through and grade it manually, but Flubaroo is the script that we're going to insert that will do it for us. To do this, you'll go to the Insert menu, and at the bottom, choose Script. Now we could browse through the script gallery and find it in Education, but instead I will just simply type it in, Flubaroo, and just click Search, find it, and then choose Install. And it's going to give you an option to accept or decline the rules or the policies, and I will go ahead and say accept, and here it is. So I need to authorize this, and I'll say okay, do that. Now I can run the script. Great, thank you. Now if I go to back here, I close out of that. Now I can see at the top menu here at the end is something called Flubaroo, and I can click on this, choose Grade Assignment, and I'll be presented a little wizard. It'll take me through the steps. So the first step is to assign the points. The first 3 questions all identify the student. If I want to have these count as 5 points apiece, I can change that. Maybe I'll keep this one at 3. The other options, you can choose to skip grading if you just want it to not count that. So I'll continue. Now you have to choose the answer key, and that was the first one that I filled out. So I'll click on this one, choose Continue, and now I can see that the grading is complete, and I'll go View Grades, and here they are. Now notice I'm on a different spreadsheet here. If I click back on Student Submissions at the bottom, these are my results, but then Flubaroo created a grades sheet for me, and I can just scroll over and see, I could see that nobody did very well, but I can see exactly what they got right and what they got wrong. So the other options you have now that we've graded things, you could regrade assignments, we could email or view report. So if I click on View Report, for instance, this will pop up with a histogram. I can have that emailed to me if I want. I can also go into Flubaroo, the menu, and say Email Grades. And I will do that, and it'll pop this up, and it says what's the email address that you want to use for the students. Well, in this case, I've already had a form question called email address, so that's what I want. And I want to include the list of questions and scores as well as the answer key. Here's your graded assignment, and that's a custom message to the students. I'll choose Continue. And I filled this form out myself, so I can go back and look, and when I click here, here's the latest message, record of grade, so I'm going to click on that. Here is your grade. So it shows I've got 3 out of 13 points, and it shows me all the information of what I got and didn't get. So then that's how you use Flubaroo.